of tax reform, talk of improvement in the economy, talk of just better than expected earnings, all lifting the Dow. Remember, any gain would be good enough for a 9th straight record close for the Dow. And again, a pace that has been picking up steam here really ever since Donald Trump's election as president. All the major market averages have appreciated, well, appreciably. Allergan CEO Brent Saunders is here. He says that an import tax would hurt the drug maker. Joins me now exclusively to talk about some of the things they're talking about in the Oval Office right now. Brent, good to have you.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Neil.
We were chatting very briefly in the green room there that you were not among the CEOs. You could have been, but you were not among those who met at the White House. Any reason for that?
No, I think the the trade association, organized that with the administration, and they picked a few CEOs to go to represent all of us on the board of pharma. And the guys who went did a great job.
Said, look, I have laundry to do or something like
that? No, not at all. I would have been happy to go, and certainly happy with the CEOs that went. They did a fine job of representing our industry and some of the issues that we face.
Now, you know, you were caught up in political storm, and it happens whether it's on the right or the left. I remember with the $160 billion merger offer with Pfizer, the big appeal was that everyone could incorporate, I think in Ireland, what was the goal, where you are incorporated. And then President Obama at the time said that can't stand and sort of rejected it. Then it followed that it didn't follow through, and then it was over. Are you afraid that this president could have the same sort of view, that companies that are mainly based abroad, even though you're in 100 countries, 16,000 workers, I understand that you'll get no nicer treatment under this guy than the last guy?
Well, I think, to be fair, right, I think President Obama and President Trump both don't want to see American companies leave and go overseas. I think the way they go about it may be very different, right? I think.
But you're right. They were similar in that respect.
Very similar. But I think the Obama administration, like they did with us, used chains and locked us into staying here, American companies. I think
it was a perfectly legal tactic. You know, there's nothing illegal about what was being done, but
well, that's being debated in the courts.
Well, I hear you,
Yes.
But this president doesn't seem any more predisposed to companies who do that sort of thing. Are you worried about that the tone changes? Because separately he's going after drug prices. In other words, he might not be a friendly president for your industry.
Well, I think that's a fair comment. I think he's a populist first. I think, but in that context, he's also pro-growth and pro-innovation. And take this example we're talking about in terms of foreign companies or American companies going abroad.
Right.
The Obama administration said, no, we're going to chain you here. The Trump administration, along with the Republican Congress, seems to be looking at it and saying, no, let's fix our problems so you don't want to leave. Let's go to a more territorial-based tax system and make American companies more competitive globally. Because the reason American companies want to leave is because we have an uncompetitive tax code. And so to be competitive with other foreign nationals, we go abroad.
And that was the impetus for
the impetus for it's just about leveling the playing field.
Let's say tax rates are reduced to the degree President Trump wants. Would you reconsider that? Would you be back in the United States?
Yeah, I don't know if we would move. We've been in Ireland now for several years. We have almost 5,000 employees there. We've built an entire system there, and we're very happy with our Irish domicile. But as an American citizen, I would love to see America be more competitive and not have history repeat itself with great American companies feeling they needed to leave to be able to compete on a global scale.
Because that's the flip side, Brent, if you think about it, about wanting to base companies in America, protect American jobs. I could see that. I commend the president for that. But sometimes you can cut off your nose to spite your face. That sort of protectionist talk, maybe that's too strong, could be the death of him in the markets. Markets that are running up on regulations going down, taxes going down, could realize what's being done here with a border tax, import tax, all of that sort of stuff, that it could all wash away. Do you worry about that?
I do worry about that, but I do think when you look at congressional leadership and some of the plans they have, they've been very thoughtful about this. Look, we have to find enough revenue to fund the government.
I don't think this import tax is going anywhere. Do you? I mean, I'm hearing increasingly the votes just are not there for it. So then they've got to pay for these tax cuts, presumably. I don't know what they cut, and maybe that's what they're discussing now. But they're running out of options, right?
Yeah, and my guess is you're right. I don't think that tax goes anywhere. I don't know for certain, but that's what it certainly feels like, and my sources have been saying. And my sense is what we'll see is the corporate rate won't fall as much as people hope, but we'll go to a territorial system, which means American companies won't be as disadvantaged in terms of competing on a global scale. They won't be double taxed because they're simply American, where an Irish company or a French company or a Japanese company is only taxed once on their income.